Mr. Mark.
Mr. Joey.
We're on episode 75 today.
We are, sir.
And we're getting into, I'm going to call it a debunking episode.
A debunking of the November market update.
Yes. You're seeing the news headlines. If you're seeing a headline of that starts with 40%, this is that.
Dig deeper because these two Mythbusters have some facts coming your way in this episode. We get into a lot of jibber jabber in this one.
Yeah.
Because we missed last week.
Yeah.
We had a lot to catch up on.
There's a lot to catch up on.
So if you just want the goods, you just want the market data, you don't want to hear all the crazy, amazing places we ate at, the fun times we had, the karaoke we get into in this episode, then just skip to 25 minutes in.
That's it.
But if you want to hear all that, then just sit back, put your feet up, grab some cocoa, and enjoy the magic.
What a picture you painted there.
Episode 75.
Episode 75.
And we also talk about bimbop.
Yeah.
Joey's never heard of it.
This is a new word.
And I might be pronouncing it wrong.
November is very bimbop.
It's a very bimbop month. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Toronto Livings Podcast, a conversation about all things Toronto with a focus on real estate, the culture, and of course, the food.
I'm Mark Savell.
And I'm Joey Virgilio.
And we're realtors with Sage Real Estate working together as a Toronto Livings team with a focus on helping you buy better, sell higher, and of course, having a little bit of fun along the way.
Hello, Joey.
Hello, Mark.
We are back for episode 75.
Yes, we're getting into numbers.
We are. We little hiatus, little break last week. I think this has been a year of kind of gaps in between. We haven't been as consistent. But I was sick as a dog, man.
Yeah.
I was dead to the world. I don't know what I caught or got, but I pray nobody gets this.
Yeah. You sounded so rough over those couple days that you were KO'd.
Yeah. It knocked me right off my socks.
Yeah.
Some type of chest infection. I did a virtual ER thing, which is actually a great pro tip maybe to start with.
Is it?
If you're sick this holiday season and you're considering going to the ER, try doing the virtual ER first.
Virtual ER is like what, an online meeting with a doctor?
Yeah. I did it through Sunnybrook.
Yeah.
I believe several hospitals have it set up. The different networks have like one virtual portal you should go through.
Okay.
But I just did it through Sunnybrook, and wow, what a time saver.
Really, eh?
Yeah. And because I wasn't sleeping because I had this like brutal cough and like pounding migraine headache.
Yeah.
I just went to the Sunnybrook website, booked my time slot, and 1:20 saw a nurse. 1:25 had a prescription.
Get out of here.
Yeah, sent to my pharmacist, and
Didn't know this existed as a thing.
within 48 hours, I was like back,
Okay.
like able to get off a couch for the first time in like 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Sunnybrook.
Shout out Sunnybrook, shout out virtual health,
Yeah.
and shout out medications, modern medications, because Lord knows I tried everything else, including
Yep.
your super secret sauce.
Yes.
Which works.
Okay. It's a pungent sauce, let's call it.
Yeah, you feel the ginger, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. For those that don't know, it's a ginger lemon tea basically.
That's right.
But it's done it's done where you let it marinate.
Yes.
In a way where it really, really soaks up the ginger.
The key to this ingredient is the marination.
Yes.
The longer it marinates, the more potent the effect. And my chest has cleared up so much.
Love it.
After like 3 mugs of this stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, if you want to know Joey's super secret sauce, reach out to us and we'll share it with you. Sign up for our newsletter if you'd like to see it. Yeah, man, it hit me. We went to, do you ever get these ads on Instagram for Candlelight, not operas, Candlelight performances?
Like orchestras. Kind of thing?
Orchestras, yeah. It's a quartet.
Yes.
That's what it is. Adriana S. and I have known each other for 10 years.
Yeah.
As of November 28th. So to celebrate it, I bought her the Instagram Candlelight night out.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it was at that night out that I was like, I think I'm really sick. It was a really good performance. We saw a Coldplay, obviously.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Here, Die Hard.
Yeah. Hour long, 12 songs. It was at the Metropolitan Church, somewhere like in Cabbagetown-esque.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's a nice little date night. I think the cheapest tickets were $20. Front row was like $60.
Okay.
So like very affordable. great performing artists.
What is it, like an hour-long performance?
Yeah, maybe hour and 10 with encore.
Yeah. They have encores?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, because you're not allowed to take photos or videos or anything.
Yeah.
But they save the last song for you to go buck wild with your social media.
Oh, get out of here. Okay.
Like take photos, do whatever the hell you want type thing.
So funny.
Yeah. And Viva La Vida was the encore song. And it was fantastic.
That's a violin song and a half.
Oh, yeah. Meant to be. So, but I digress.
Should we talk? Let me ask you about the rest of your week before you were sick or after you were sick.
Yeah. So I did go to this really, really, really cool Korean barbecue place.
Okay.
And this was pre-sick.
Love Korean barbecue.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Have I got a place for you?
Okay.
Good friends of the show. You might remember our friend Adam H.
Yeah.
Lisbon House Hotel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lisbon Hotel.
Yeah.
Great guy, man of class. Him and his wife Kinda, such lovely people. They're the wedding we went to in Spain over the summer, and they graciously invited us out for Korean barbecue.
Love it.
I'm not a big fan of Korean barbecue.
No?
Here's my beef with it.
Okay.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Pun intended. I gotta pay to cook for myself. I mean, if I'm going out,
I hear you.
I don't want to be taken care of, and also like, I gotta pay to cook beef tongue for myself.
Beef tongue was a part of it.
Well, it usually is in Korean barbecue.
Oh, okay. The place I went to didn't have beef tongue.
interesting.
Or maybe you could have ordered it, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's like tripe, beef tongue, like all the innards that people don't often want is usually what, at least I've been served in Korean barbecue.
Yep.
This was not that.
Okay.
This was definitely the most elevated, fanciest Korean barbecue you've ever been to.
I already love it.
Yeah, it's called Taksha.
Taksha.
Barbecue House, 962 College Street.
Okay.
Just next to our friend Lardo.
Okay.
Lardo, Julia, all that kind of strip over there. They're all in the same block. You walk in, you instantly are like, okay, this isn't your typical Korean barbecue.
This is a nice spot.
Yeah, designed impeccably. Open concept, but still cozy. You have your kind of little booths where you go into where you still feel very private, but it does have that traditional Korean barbecue in the center.
Yeah.
Why I love it? They cook for you.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes.
So they sit at the table with you?
No.
Okay.
They stand at the table and kind of,
they just do it over.
They do their thing. Yeah. So what I love about that is, pardon the cough, it allows you to still have the conversation and not worry, like, does this guy know how to cook? You know what I mean? You've got trained professionals who know what they're doing.
Yes.
And furthermore, can explain what you're eating. So pro tip, I would definitely suggest getting the hansang, which translates to table full of food.
Oh, okay.
And it delivers a table full of food. It's the kind of the chef tasting menu.
Love it.
We went with that. It starts with a seafood tower.
Okay.
So not something you traditionally get at a Korean barbecue spot. The oysters were out of this world.
Seafood tower.
Yeah. So good. They had a seafood pancake with uni, which was mind-blowingly delicious. And a mushroom bimbap. You know those bowls, those bimbap bowls?
No.
Oh,
never heard the word bimbap in my life.
Oh man, they're very hearty. I think you'd be a big bimbap guy. Okay. Something about it tells me you'd like it. It comes in like a stone bowl, a heated stone bowl, rice at the bottom, and usually just like garnishes and a little bit of beef. This one had mushrooms from God knows where.
Yeah, okay.
Like Flavortown mushrooms.
Love it.
So good.
Okay.
But the highlight was definitely the chef's selection of barbecued meats.
Okay.
They brought out this Iberico Pluma fancy pork from Spain, and not really big pork guy on the barbecue. This delivered.
Okay. Yeah.
Just like buttery, smooth.
Marinated properly.
Oh my God. Just every bite was another adventure.
Oh, love it.
Love that. Definitely the claim to fame was the A5 Wagyu strip loin.
Ooh, Wagyu.
Yeah, A5.
A5 Wagyu.
Yeah.
Is that like a more intensified Wagyu?
I'll go back into my butcher shop days. Kobe beef is the Rolls Royce of beefs, but truly can only be had in Kobe, Japan. It's actually illegal to export Kobe beef.
Oh, okay.
Not impossible.
Yeah.
I have had, just not legal. So be very careful if you ever go to a place where it says they're serving you Kobe beef. It's probably not.
Gotcha.
It's probably a crossbreed, and it's usually a Wagyu that you're eating.
Right.
A5 is the elevated version of Wagyu and probably the closest to real Kobe beef you're getting outside of Kobe, Japan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it is the elevated version.
Yeah. This is like instant butter on your tongue.
Oh my God.
You really only need a small piece of it. Too much, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But this is just the right amount, and the flavor is just, woof. It was Yeah, fantastic.
This is making my mouth water. As you're
we should
describing
go.
This. Also, I think I've heard you say about 4 or 5 words, actually probably closer to 10 that I've never even heard in my entire life.
Bimbop?
Bimbop being absolutely number one.
Hansang, table full of food. Never heard of that? And if you still have a little bit of space in you, I got to shout out Kinda for this one. The spicy beef tartare.
Okay.
Do you know what?
Tartare?
Yeah, no, I'm sure you know what tartare is.
That word. Yes, sir.
But kimchi, are you familiar with kimchi?
Yes, kimchi I know too.
Yeah, so it's a very much, it was flavored in a very kimchi-esque way.
Yep.
So it's that traditional beef tartare with a kimchi kind of spice to it. Oof, love that.
Okay.
Yeah, really good.
Okay.
So takcha.
Takcha.
Or taka, I don't know, I might be pronouncing it wrong. But we'll have the links in the show notes. And if you're a big fan of Korean barbecue, I think you might have found the best in the city.
Okay.
Not cheap,
Yep.
but value is there.
It sounds like it. You have somebody cooking for you. So that's that's elevated like you wouldn't believe.
Who would have think you go to a restaurant and someone's going to
cook for you.
What a far out concept. And the servers were fantastic. They were so knowledgeable about everything, great for recommendations, very hospitable, and like knew everything. Like that's
the best situation to be in, especially with when you're unfamiliar with a lot of stuff like that. Having that explanation, having somebody there, just like going into detail with things is like, it's a game changer.
Such a well-run spot.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah. How about you?
This week, eating out was, I broke my cycle this December.
Uber's out the window?
Uber is out the window, and well, it's back in my window, basically.
Love it.
But no, I don't want to talk about that because I only ate my guilty pleasures over this last little bit, and in the soggy Uber Eats way that they come.
Love it.
But I did want to give a huge shout out to all the Sagers because we were at an event this past week.
Were we ever?
And it was an event. The El Macombo officially, they held it at the El Macombo. Yeah. And we had the official Sage Christmas party. So all the Sagers got together and had some drinks. Had some delicious food.
Delicious, yeah.
And in what is now the new and improved El Macombo. First time I've been back since like all the improvements.
Have you gone to the old El Macombo?
I actually played the old El Macombo.
What?
Yeah, back in the day. The upstairs was very different than it is now.
Yep.
And I was ordering my drink and I was staring at the picture that they were projecting from the band that was playing up front.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ready for broadcast. Like, you can get proper bands in there to like be nationally broadcast.
The sound was impeccable.
The sound was insane, considering you have the stage facing a short wall. Like it wasn't. I mean, it was loud. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like overbearing, and you can hear everything so clearly.
So clear.
Yeah,
yeah. Really impressed with that.
Kudos. What $30 million in renovations can do for you.
Yeah, it was not cheap. I actually had a friend who owned it before the current owner owns it.
Yeah.
And he took me through it. So it was kind of after your era of playing, it kind of went derelict for a little bit. Nothing was really happening. My friend purchased it, gave me a tour of the spot, and he's like, just the AC alone is going to cost me $800,000 to fix.
Unreal.
He's like, this is a lot. He's like, I'm in over my head. So thankfully he was able to find a buyer for it, and the new owners did.
They did it up properly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were bringing in big guns from the music industry to set everything up.
Insane.
There was this small short story, but when I was in the audio days, I went to this like, I guess, promotion for this preamp that was coming out. Eddie Kramer is a guy who's like a big producer in that world. Did big people like Jimi Hendrix and like all those classics. Anyways, he was there explaining the fact that he was in the Elmo as it was getting rebuilt, and they were using him as somebody to help build the place out.
Consulting on how to
to properly. So if I'm not mistaken, not that I went to take a tour, but upstairs I think there's like a proper studio setup.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So kudos. Kudos everybody who.
Great venue. If you ever catch a band that you like playing there, like, don't miss it, because it was.
It's really awesome. And like, honestly, even if you're thinking of hosting an event, it was a great spot for it.
Yeah.
Bar on one side, band on the other. You were able to like relax and just talk on one side if you wanted to, or just like enjoy the band on the other.
Yeah.
Setup and layout makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And all the Sages were there. It was great seeing all of our friends.
Yes. Yeah. Had Scott and Matt. I want to shout out a couple that I was talking to.
Yeah, go for it.
Scott and Maddie. Appreciate appreciate always Amir and Ola. Amir and Ola, fantastic time talking with them. And I needed to shout out actually specifically the Fatas because they have been sending me so many food places lately.
Same. Sandwich spots.
Sandwich spots, and I guess they're prowling the area of Etobicoke lately.
Yes.
So I keep getting sent sandwich places in
Love
Etobicoke.
it.
So stay tuned because I will be shouting out their sandwich places. I need to go make special trips out because I want to try them out. They make my mouth water every time.
Oh yeah, each one of them is like a banger. Like,
Yes.
just a gem.
Yes, absolutely. So stay tuned for upcoming episodes.
Love it. Yeah. And the design team was there as well.
Design team was there. Yeah. Determined to buy JP a beer, unsuccessful by the end of it. There's definitely people I'm missing and I'm going to miss for sure. But shout out to all the Sagers. Always such a good group of people to be in the same room.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. And the band they had Cleopatra Williams.
Yes.
Oof.
A plus.
Oh my God.
Yeah, A plus.
The range of songs they were singing.
Yeah, like proper, like they did well done covers throughout the whole night.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I was like, oh, live band. Like, no, I just want to talk to my friends and get to, it was almost like I didn't really want to pay attention to it, but you couldn't ignore them.
No.
It was so good. You're like, whoa, these guys are actually, and you just saw like the vibe move from like one end of the room right to the front stage.
Slowly everybody started watching it.
Oh yeah.
I knew. So leading up to this week, Mark has been laid out and complete. So up until that day, I was like, I don't think he's making it to the Christmas party, but whatever. We'll still make it.
Up until 5 p.m., I was not coming to the Christmas party. I was like, guys, this is bad.
So you managed to, I don't know, sleep it off, rest it off, and you ended up coming. And I knew officially your night was made when they played the Buffalo Bills theme song.
The Killers.
The Killers, Mr. Brightside.
Mr. Brightside. Oh.
The way you looked at me when they started playing Mr. Brightside.
Instantly, life came back in me. Oh, I'm Mr. Brightside.
The fact that Mr. Brightside became the Buffalo Bills, the Mr. Brightside is about Brendan Flowers getting cheated on and how awful that situation was, and that is the Buffalo Bills theme song.
Last 2 minutes of the game, fourth quarter, that song comes in. That building is the epitome of love. You got shirtless, hairy, big Buffalonians hugging each other, high fives everywhere, beers being shared. It is, man, if I'm ever interviewed in like, what is love? I'd say go to Highmark Stadium, 2 minutes left. That is love. I'm telling you, man. Secretly, I like the Killers.
Yeah, no, that's not, shouldn't be a secret.
Okay.
I tell the world about
publicly,
that. Yeah.
I like the Killers. Actually, one of my favorite Christmas songs is sung by
The Killers?
Yeah, man.
Which Christmas song?
Don't shoot me, Santa Claus. I've been a clean living boy.
I actually don't know this.
Really?
This Christmas song.
Oh, man. Don't shoot me, Santa Claus?
Yeah, no.
In the sweet Mojave rain, a boy was on his own. No.
Not at all.
Wow. Maybe I am the only one who knows the song. Because I told Adriana about it and she's like, never heard it. Well, we're going to do a Christmas episode next week. So maybe I'll play you a little snippet of my
the collection.
of my favorite Christmas songs that aren't like popular Christmas songs. Yeah, man. Brandon and the Killers and sung by Cleopatra definitely brought me back, man.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was definitely at that point, the crowd started jumping.
Well, and this is the thing about the event. Evan Sage told us to come business rock, and I wasn't sure if he was serious or not because they do like their lumberjack parties, and when they do them, people come dressed like lumberjacks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I got a lot of rock concert T-shirts, and this beard's kind of flowing in. So like, should I wear a Metallica shirt and a bandana? And he just like, I don't know. Like this, I was the only one.
No, you were in it. You were so in it, and I was so happy you committed.
But man, when the opportunity is given to dress in concert T-shirts and bandanas, you take it.
You take it every time.
Yeah, and shout out to them for giving us
their concert T-shirts. Actually,
Yes.
these are awesome.
so well thought of.
Yes.
We're wearing our Sage Christmas gift shirts.
Yes.
The under the neon palms, which is what the Macombo is known for.
Yep.
And then you have our Ossington office on the other side.
Snapshot of the Ossington
Yeah.
office.
And on the back, you have all of the previous Christmas parties.
Yeah.
And where they hosted them, like a concert T-shirt.
It's wicked. It's such a great idea.
Great feel, great vibe. Love the texture of this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for these.
Thank you, Sagers. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll use this to do what we always do every week and ask people for our call to action.
Yes. Good timing.
If you're enjoying this podcast, please like, comment, or subscribe. We've been asking people to do this. It's working.
Yep.
Our subs on YouTube are growing. We're over 1,200 followers, which is amazing. Or
Yep.
subs. I don't like the word followers. What are we, messiahs? Don't follow us. Just listen to us. It's been going good. I mean, I've been manifesting some big things, but I think this week we manifested too hard. We got comments. They're not nice comments. But also, I think we made it now.
Yeah.
When you start getting hate,
That's when you're
great.
Yeah.
When you get the hate, you've become great.
Become great. Yeah.
So Murray Keith 4067 on one of our shorts, he said, "Well, it's comforting to know that none of your videos impart any useful information. As for the air quotes comedy, you are deluding yourselves if you think you're funny. You're more lame, I'd say." But Murray didn't stop there.
Amazing.
Murray went through our collection and he further said, "You really didn't get into anything except a bunch of grade 9 bro babble. Get over yourself, guys. You're not witty. You're just annoying." Can I say ouch? Like,
I'm thinking as a compliment. He saw our first video and got annoyed enough to go through more of our videos.
say I'm not done with these guys. I gotta let them know that they're not funny and they're bro babble. Also, I kind of like bro babble. I'll take it. This is the bro babble channel. My Asus phone 5823 said, "So much fluff. Get to the point. This isn't a gamer stream." Yeah, we know. Like, this is the Toronto Living's Real Estate Podcast.
We
show.
could get into gamer streaming. Why not?
Yeah, well, how do you even gamer
That's
stream?
what our audience is telling us.
I don't even know how to gamer stream. What do? You just like, whoa,
Play video games and
talk?
film yourself. Yeah.
about the game or about life?
No, I don't know. Maybe everything.
Bit of both?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're kind of doing?
Yeah.
We're in the game of Toronto real estate and we're talking about our freaking
We just
food
need
experience.
a video game in the background is that's all that's needed.
I'm going to make this happen. we're going to flip the camera around and we're going to do a stream next week and keep my Asus phone and Murray 4067 happy. But you know what? It wasn't all hate. We did get some love. Marcelo the Fratello.
Yep.
Our buddy from Recife, Brazil.
Yes.
Shout out Brazil. I'm watching the Ayrton Senna documentary on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
The most famous Brazilian driver for F1. It is such a good.
It's hooked on it.
It's done so well.
Yeah.
So well. And Marcelo's from Brazil. So instantly we love Brazil. Yeah. He wrote, "I love Mark and Joey. They are the best in the Toronto real estate business." Come on. Does it get better than that?
Marcello, always appreciated.
Yeah. Adriana S. doesn't miss an episode. My wife. Clapping hand emojis is usually what she'll give us. She's also known to sprinkle a super informative episode, guys. So we do have some fans.
Yes. Yeah.
Love wins.
They're out there. Yeah. Love wins. Yeah.
Highmark Stadium. Love wins.
Also, shout out Alex, former guest of the show as well.
Please do.
Who has been, who also has been on top of it. He sends in our group all the time the episodes out, and he's always very vocal about how much he enjoys our episodes. So I do appreciate that.
Is his brother Thomas?
Yes.
Shout out Thomas as well then.
Thomas is also in
He's
that.
dropping comments.
Love it. Amazing.
Yeah. So all you on the sidelines, don't be scared. Tell us how much you hate us. Tell us how much you love us. Just tell us so the algorithm knows we exist. That's all we try to do. Nah, man, we're on episode 75. It's a market update episode. And like, I don't care if we have no streams, no likes. I just enjoy doing this every week, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're gonna have a fun one next episode too.
We are.
This is gonna be our Christmas episode. This is the end of the year.
End of the year.
Yeah. And everyone was like, you know what? We made it to 70. What are we at right now?
75.
We're 75. And we're getting close to that 100 mark. That was what we said off the very, very first episode.
Yep. We said we're going to do it to 100, win, lose, or draw. Just stick through it and see what this takes us. And like, I'm still game to go past 100.
100%. Yeah.
Spend an hour with Joey every Saturday morning. Shoot the breeze. We're concert teams.
That's it. Yeah.
Come on. Love it, man. Love the podcast. Love you. Love the year that's been. It's been a challenging one, but that's how you grow.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
A little bit of news you can use.
Let's do it.
Sprinkle a little bit of it.
We need to.
All right. So this week, battling the cold, staring in front of my screen, hating my life, thinking this is the new norm and I'm never going to get out of it. I get an email from the city of Toronto.
Okay.
Yes. The city of Toronto emailed me to let me know about the vacant home tax.
Look at that.
And I said, good on you, city of Toronto.
Stage 2 of the promotion line.
This is the way to do it. And the point of their email was to say, hey, there's a postal strike. You should have received a very bright, beautiful yellow envelope with notice and instructions on how to fill it out. It's coming.
Yep.
We're just waiting for the strike to be over. But until then, we are sending you an email directly to your inbox. This is what that bright yellow envelope will say. And this is what you can do to fill out your vacant home tax.
Good on you for utilizing technology.
Yes. Something so easy, so effective, and it worked.
Yes.
I filled out my vacant home tax.
Hey, first in. You're probably one of the first in.
I'm not. I'll tell you this right now. I'm not, because I reached out to several clients, and I don't know if it was our episode or our newsletter, but they're all like, yep,
Done.
did it.
Yeah.
And I'm high-fiving.
I actually got those comments as well.
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. And the most thing was like, the cities ain't getting a cent from us. We filled out our stuff. We know what to do now. Your episode was amazing explaining it.
Love it.
Very happy to be hearing all that.
It's working.
And most importantly, Adriana S. can stop nagging me and asking me every day if I filled it out, because now I have. So I can sleep well at night. Yeah. So if you got that email, I would say don't ignore it. It's got all the steps that you need to do, and why not get it done this year? So next year in 2025, you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah, 100%. No need to just let this linger and then have that task, that undone task.
Yeah, and just remember, all of us, anybody who owns property in the city has to fill it out. That doesn't mean you have to pay the tax.
Yep.
But you do have to fill it out.
Yeah.
So fill it out, get your exemptions in, let the people know that you've either occupied or rented out your house, and save 3% on your assessed value.
100%. Yeah. That's all the properties that you own.
All the properties.
Yeah, whether you live in it, whether you don't, doesn't matter. Just fill it out for each property that is owned in Toronto.
City of Toronto. Yes, correct. And actually on the Toronto theme, our WNBA team is now named. Our women's basketball team.
Okay.
We are the Toronto Tempo.
Toronto Tempo.
I kind of like it.
I'm okay with that.
There's some criticisms about the design, about this, about that. At Toronto Tempo's, it's good.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's like the flow, the movement, the sound.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm a fan. So
love it.
Go team.
Shout out the WNBA.
Yep. Shout out WNBA and the Toronto Temples.
And the Toronto Temples.
Kind of curious what their mascot's going to be.
What would a tempo, like a musician?
I don't know, like a treble clef.
Yeah.
Massive treble clef, just goo, 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 goo. I don't know. We shall find out.
Yeah, let's wait and see for that one. Are we going to get into the numbers? Is it time?
Yeah, let's do the damn thing.
Yeah.
Let's do our November market update.
All right. We are, we're going to say this. I'm going to say this now.
Yes.
We're 25 minutes in.
Okay.
So if you did want to just skip to the content, the main meat and potatoes, 25 minutes is
25 minutes in. All right. Good to know.
All right. So we're talking about November.
Yes.
The month that was.
Yes.
What do we want to say about it other than so far, headlines are such a funny thing.
That's a good segue. That's a very good segue. So Wednesday, as I mentioned, was my first day kind of feeling normal again. And I decided I needed a haircut and to, beautify myself.
Yep.
I go to the barbershop. I'm still half in this cold. I'm still like foggy and all that other stuff. I'm sitting in the chair and the guy next to me says, bro, have you heard? The market's up 40%. And I'm in that chair like, sir, which market are you referring to? As a Pokemon card collector, are you talking about that? Which market? Real estate market, bro. You're in real estate. It's up 40%. And I'm like, I don't think so. He's like, no. CP24. I just heard it. The market's up 40%. I'm like, but what part of the market? Like transactions, prices, condos? I don't know, bro, but 40%. And like wildfire, guy on the other chair, 40%. Should I build my house this year? And I'm still like neocitroned up. I'm like, guys, let me just unpack all this, because something about 40% being the lead makes me feel like there might be more to the story.
Yeah.
And so let's just start by saying November wasn't as good as it sounds.
No, it's so funny that the way you describe that story is so true to how I think the masses take the Toronto Star headlines or whatever headline that hit. They cherry pick a specific number and then, oh my God, do they run with it?
Yeah.
They see the word housing. Anybody would see the word housing and they see 40% up or 40% down, whatever number they choose. And that's what's happening.
Emotion follows.
Yeah.
No further digging into what the context of that number is and which element of the market. And that's okay because that makes our podcast have a reason to exist.
Yes.
So in episode 75, the 25-minute mark and beyond, here we are discussing what actually happened in November.
Yes. This is a little bit of a debunking episode.
I think it's a debunking episode for sure because the numbers don't back up the headlines.
Yes.
That's going to be this big takeaway here. So the big headline was sales increased by 40%. Small print, year over year. Okay. Sales. We don't like the word sales. On this podcast, we use the word transactions.
Yes.
So all this means is there was 40% more homes exchanged in the month of November than last November of 2023.
Yes.
Can we say context? Context, because it's so important.
Very much so.
Last year, the Bank of Canada had an overnight rate at 5%. This year, we're at 3.75. Yes, it's normal to experiencing more transactions. But that doesn't mean you are significantly potentially better off.
No,
right? Not by any stretch.
No, and it's funny. Okay, so I'm gonna point out the glass half full because it's not awful. It's way overhyped.
Yes,
no question about it. But we had about 5,800 transactions this month, which is generally speaking, if we're talking about like averages in November, it's a little bit under. It's still catching up to where things used to be. I would put probably regular around maybe 7,000-ish.
Right.
So we're there. But normal is nice. I think normal is the overhype to say, oh my God, here we go.
40%, we're back.
Yeah.
No.
We're still catching up to where we were. And I'd say it's a nice sign, but I wouldn't say this is groundbreaking.
Right, because if you look at October, we're actually down 12%.
Right.
How's that for a little LOL?
even then, yes.
Like great news compared to last year's dismal November. However, still very normal numbers coming in.
Yeah.
Nothing to really indicate that this girl is on fire. Right? It's still very ho-hum.
Yeah.
Ho-hum.
Ho-hum's a great word.
Bim bop. Very bim bop.
It's very bim bop.
Very bim bop.
It's very bim bop of November.
New listings significantly dropped to its third lowest amount of the year.
Right.
We were down to 11,500, call it 11,600 listings. And that's a reflection of, I think, a lot of sellers not getting what they were hoping for and taking down. We're getting into holiday mode.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. And if you don't need to sell, then you have the opportunity. I think a lot of conversations I was having around October were that, sellers started feeling confident again that next year is going to start bringing a little bit of light into the situation. And so a lot of people are not trying to list right before the light comes.
Yeah. And you're seeing a lot of 75 days on market, 90 days on market. There's a lot of those that were lingering. And I think a lot of those people said, okay, great. We've given it the 2.5, 3 months. It ain't happening. Let's, like you're saying, try in the new year, take it off.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is happening there. Active listings also saw a drop. Nearly 11% compared to October. And yeah, they're up 30% year over year, but that's actually not good because it's like active listings. So, this is one of those really interpreting the numbers is important. So you hear active listings up 30%.
Yeah.
An increase is what you kind of don't want in active listings if you're a seller.
If you're a seller, yeah.
Yeah. If you're a buyer, that's definitely gives you more.
You get more choosings.
Yeah. More wiggle room and all that fun stuff. But interesting that wasn't really also mentioned in it, that there's actually more active listings.
Yeah.
30% more. Like that's substantial.
That's a big number.
Yeah.
That's a very big number.
Yeah. So, and then kind of to bring it all home, average price. The average price kind of solidifies what all these other market indicators are telling, but the headlines aren't.
Yes.
Average price is $1,106,000.
Yeah.
That sends us back to July's average.
Yeah, I was actually not for nothing. I was more optimistic of what November would look like.
You thought it was going to be higher?
Yeah,
so did I.
Yeah. So this was a
bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they try to put all the attention to the 40% number.
Yeah. the amount of transactions that happen is much more important than the price that they're selling at.
Right. And it's not, I don't think. If you're a seller, the price is all you really care about. And if you're a buyer, that's what you're committing to. So, price is pretty important. Yeah. And this isn't accurate to say, but one way of looking at it is 3 months of price appreciation is wiped out. We're back to July's averages.
Yeah.
And, spoiler alert, December will not be much prettier.
No.
It's seasonally not a good month.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people are on ice, kind of just waiting to see what comes to the new year. But this presents a really good opportunity for buyers.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're still in that in my mind, we're still in this transitional phase of what the sentiment is overall. And this is that moment where you, as a buyer, are looking at it being like, these are nice headlines, but I can still see condos. There's still deals out there for condos all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So 100%. There's as a buyer, I think this is good news for you.
Yeah.
As a seller, I would say nice indicators, but don't get excited just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And then our days on market, it shot up to 49. This is the second highest of the year, second to January only. So, things are taking a lot longer to sell.
Yeah, this was another number that surprised me.
Same.
49 was that's a big number. I think this is the second highest.
Second longest time.
Yeah.
January was the longest time, which usually is the case.
Yeah.
November usually isn't.
No.
So
this is people lingering that are trying to just, I guess, get rid of things. I have my theory that the vacant home tax is playing a role of people just being just keep it on, and we're going to sell before the end of the year because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, could be.
But that's just one theory of 100 variables.
Yeah, definitely could be. That's a good theory, because what if you've attempted to sell your house? It's taken more than 6 months on the market, so it's been vacant.
Yeah.
You don't successfully sell your house. I guess technically you're liable to pay
1,000,000%.
because
and not only that, but you're publicly online showing that you have a vacant property for 6 months if it is vacant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're only exempt if you've sold it, not if you've attempted to sell it.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So people out there or who might be trying to just get under the wire the last second. I've had conversations with agents that are in that position that are just it's time to go, or else, and just offering incentives even to close before December 31st.
Interesting. So something to take note, with pricing, have a serious talk with your realtor and maybe ask if this house, what's the likelihood of this house sitting vacant for longer than 6 months? Because you should have a plan, and I don't think it should sit vacant for more than 4 months.
Right.
Because then that gives you 2 months to try and rent it out after.
That's not a bad thought process. Yeah.
Thank you. It was on the fly.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that little side take we just came up with there. Let's take a closer look at transactions.
Yes.
Or as the media calls it, sales. Man, I'm petitioning. Let's just eliminate that word.
100% we should.
The Mark and Joey clause. Actually, the Joey and Mark clause, because you came up with this concept, which I really like. Of
appreciate it.
Calling it transactions.
Yeah.
So your name goes first.
I'm ready to fight for it.
Okay, let's do this. So all segments of the market saw significant month-over-month drops in November.
Right.
Semis saw the largest drop, 22% compared to October, month-over-month.
Right.
Semis. Yes. Detached was down 18.75.
Right.
So you got semis at 22, detached at 18.75, towns at 7.6, and maybe a little light in this horror story, condos only dropped 3%.
Condos are they're always the anomaly, it seems like.
They are, and I think this is an indicator that we've been talking about watching and continue to watch, and we're watching it favorably because it looks like what we're hoping would happen for an improvement of the market is starting to happen.
Yeah.
All for the last couple months, it's been the negative story has been condos, and to see that have the least amount of drop, that's a win. That's a win I'll take.
Absolutely, I'll take it. And so these are yes, we saw less amount of transactions. This is month over month numbers.
Yeah.
So October was a big one. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people pulled the trigger in October.
You were very busy.
Yes, yeah, and I was a prime example of what was happening. But it's November to follow up October's big drops, because that was where a lot of transactions took place. It's interesting to see it. November is it's going to be tough to keep that movement, I guess, happening as we get closer and closer to December and holiday season.
Well, this is why I like condos as kind of an indicator. They're the most affordable option for purchasers in the city.
Right.
It's condos just by price. It's where a lot of the first timers end up. They've come down significantly, and we've been saying there's value and options there, but people don't have the confidence to do that yet,
right.
to take that yet. This kind of tells me that confidence is coming back in condos, and people are starting to take that step, which is going to, I think, spur a lot of, kick the can higher up the hill, I guess you can say. It's going to bring activity to other parts, because if someone's selling a condo, then now a seller has money to potentially get into a semi or a detached or what have you. But when that big segment doesn't have activity, then all the rest,
they suffer.
Absolutely.
That's actually a great way to look at it. It's almost set up like a pyramid.
Pyramid of sorts, of course. And I think the big thing is, condos didn't make sense because rates didn't really make it make sense.
Right.
Especially to the investor crowd. You couldn't make money on it. Even though the price had come down significantly at 6% mortgage rates, they wouldn't carry cash positive.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to see some rates in the 4s and, mid to low 4s, I guess you can call it. The argument is becoming easier to make that potentially these will carry very close to cash positive, if not cash positive on some condos that have been sitting. So really good indicator. This is really the headline that should have been talked about. But as you can see, it took me 5 minutes to explain it.
Yeah.
So it's not so easy to
hard
put
to make that into 5 words.
Yeah. Believe in condos again. Trust us. That's the headline. Prices. Let's get into prices. Yeah.
So prices. So month over month drops.
Yes.
I think is kind of what we're about to look into. And year over year drops.
Actually. For towns, yes.
For towns specifically.
Towns had both month over month and a year over year drop. Yeah.
Towns in a weird place. They hovered at the $1 million mark and then dropped like $100,000.
Yeah, it did it twice this year.
Right.
Remember, this is like maybe 3 or 4 market updates ago. We were like, "Whoa, towns are 900,000."
Yeah.
What? Because all year we're like $1 million, 995, $1 million 10, and then 9.
Which also doesn't make a ton of sense to me because of the new changes that are coming.
Right.
And I don't know if that's an indication of maybe just people are waiting for it's December 14th, if I'm not mistaken.
14th or 15th, something like that.
Something along those lines. For those that don't know, the mortgage gods that be are allowing for any purchaser to put less than 20% down on anything up to 1.5 million at this point. My prediction, and I'm still predicting this, is that we're going to start to see towns start to push that line and move much further past it because they've always kind of hovered that $1 million line.
Yep.
I think this is going to be the thing that kicks it into the next gear. But again, not pleasantly surprised. I was very surprised.
It's a head scratcher.
Drop, yeah,
by so much.
Yeah.
Okay, 25K is digestible, but 100K. So we've got 2 months this year where it's just like boop, 900,000 is the average price.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure these are just anomalies, and there's probably some reasoning of like maybe some really affordable towns sold and shifted down the averages.
That's we have to remember also that we're speaking averages. So like, there are segments. We could just be dealing with more of that lower end in this town.
And if you have some super high end luxury towns that sell in the month, it's going to artificially bump it up. Yeah. So don't be too worried about this, but definitely something that caught our eyes of like, whoa, towns.
What's happening?
Yeah. Can I talk about condos again?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Out of all the segments, they held the best month over month.
Yeah.
Their price was just down 1%. It showed the least amount of volatility, and the average price came in at $713,000. That's an $8,000 difference from the month prior.
It's so funny. Yeah, they're, again, the anomaly in the situation. And also, I think just generally speaking, considering that there was so much inventory, they have been the least volatile of all of the segments. Mm-hmm. They move very just cautiously, I guess. They don't get affected as intensely as maybe the news headlines have made them sound. And but there are deals out there. Not to say that there's not, but it's not as aggressive. When you see detached go down in price, it's like, whoa,
200K swings.
What just happened? Yeah. Not condos. They kind of. They're just more steady.
Well, semis had a $66,000 swing this month, of 5% roughly, and condos had a 1%, $8,000 swing.
Right.
So, much easier to digest something of that nature as opposed to some of the bigger numbers that you see out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And you mentioned something about condo headlines. I'll tell you this, 9.6 times out of 10, when they're talking about condo headlines, they're referring to pre-construction.
Yeah, actually, that's such a... I know we've talked about this before, but oh my God, we need to bring this up again.
It's a reminder that needs to be said.
Yes.
The headlines are very good at blurring what they're actually talking about. The pre-con market is being hit. This is a fact. Like, we can show you plenty of examples of lots of money being lost, but they tend to group pre-con with resale.
Yes.
And the two are not the same.
No, they're so different. And when you think to yourself that pre-con are aiming for something like, $1,400, $1,500 a square foot,
$1,800 a square foot.
Yeah. Yes. You can see why that has had a straight halt, because they've been getting hit very hard with people that had promise and had thought that it was going to go in that direction.
Correct.
Up until the end. But here we are.
And who did calculations with a mortgage rate of 1.5%.
Yes.
And not 5.5%.
Yes.
Those lose a lot of money very quickly.
Yes. Resale, on the other hand,
Right.
has not gone out of control with its price per square foot nearly as much as pre-construction.
Yep.
And when you're talking about a building that's like less than 5 years old, that's trading at like, call it $1,000 a square foot or $1,100 a square foot, it's a lot more attractive than the $1,800 a square foot across the street that's going to get built in 2027.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Esque. Right? So yeah, just always pause when you see those condo headlines and don't be like my friends at the barbershop and just run with the headline. Click the article. I'm almost so certain most of the time they're actually talking about pre-con and not resale.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my public service announcement.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Why don't you take us home with months of inventory?
Yes. Okay. Months of inventory. So again, I'll re-explain for anybody who has maybe a new sub.
New listener.
So basically what months of inventory is if we stopped any new inventory from coming to the MLS today, how long would it take for that inventory to sell out? Basically the absorption rate. So 1 to 3 months of inventory means it's a seller's market, it's a tight market, and prices go up. Things move quickly. 4 to 6 months is a balanced market, proper negotiations, things are just kind of even keel. And then 6+ months of inventory means it's a buyer's market and lots of room for negotiation, prices go down. Talking about October's number for this month, was a 50-50 split pretty much.
Okay.
It was like kind of interesting. So October was pretty aggressive and all of the months of inventory went down significantly. People were absorbing all the inventory that was on the market pretty quickly. But I have finally a new winner of the tightest inventory award. And and it's so funny because it's so contradicting to the price point that you'd mentioned. But let's talk about, let's do the tightest inventory awards. So starting off in first place, and longtime semis have officially taken a backseat, but towns have officially taken the #1 slot for tightest inventory in November. Yes. Considering that the price dropped so significantly, but people were eating them up. I guess it must have been some type of anomaly of lower priced towns. But they went from 2.1 months of inventory to 1.8. So
we got incredibly low prices and a seller's market.
How do
Something doesn't compute.
Something's not working right.
But hey, these are the numbers. We just report them.
The second up is semis. So semis, they didn't drop too far, but they actually went in the opposite direction.
Slightly. Yeah.
Slightly. It was minor. It was very not very significant, but from 2.1 to 2.2.
Okay.
Now, the next up, detached. So the third place goes to detached from 3.4 to a whopping 3.4.
No change.
Absolutely no change for detached. And then lastly, condos shifting slightly, I guess higher lower so they went from 5.1 to 5. So basically
no
unchanged.
change.
Yeah. They kept up.
So what I hear you saying is towns, semis, and detached are in a seller's market.
Yep.
And condos are in a balanced market.
Correct. And moving in like the last 2 months anyways, we'll see December is going to bring weird numbers, but we're moving in a better direction considering, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 3 months ago, condos were sitting at like 6.5 or 6.8 months of inventory.
So it's come down significantly.
Yes. Yeah. So it's moved in a pretty good direction.
Yeah. Condo listings, our church project's been pretty busy, like extremely busy. We got another offer this week that came in on it. I use that as kind of a little micro ecosystem to see where the condo market's at. We've been slammed. Like we've got weekends of showings. We've had almost every day this week stuff happening at the church. So I think people are taking heed of the prices. And as we mentioned, with rates coming down, it makes it more affordable. And so, like you said before, the window of opportunity is starting to close.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. There's still opportunity, but if you're sitting on the sidelines, I think you should be talking to your mortgage broker and getting that ball rolling.
I think I totally agree with that. The optimism is still here, and I think there was a job report that came out recently that was.
Can we talk about that?
Yes.
Can we also say that market predicting is tough? That the economy is not a one indicator tell all story.
No.
They're complex.
They're insanely complex.
Multifaceted and complex. So housing numbers, job numbers came out this week.
Yeah. And they came back, I think they were at 6.8%. Like it went up pretty significantly.
Yes, sir.
And so now the conversation is, well, the Canadian economy is getting weaker. So therefore more of a chance that we're going to see an even more intense rate cut in December.
Yes. So that's coming up this week.
Yes.
Guesstimates on what we're going to get what type of cut?
I'm guessing 50 basis points.
I agree with you.
Yeah, especially since now that last headline came out. It's so funny because this is the issue with headline conversations when it comes to market predictions. It's like everyone loves to cherry pick something and they just say, here's why. And everyone just moves with the wind.
Listen, humans are very simplistic. We are dualistic people. It's good, it's bad, it's right, it's wrong. It's markets up, markets down. And there's never a third element. It's just one or two. That's all we can compute. And like, I see it every day and it's so funny because it's like, no, there's so many facets that you need to look at to understand the full story.
Yeah.
So although job numbers is self-benefiting to us and going to hopefully bring down the rates further, it's not the only indicator to look at,
right?
But it's an important one. And fun fact, the last time the unemployment rate was this high outside of COVID was 2016.
Huh.
Do you know what the Bank of Canada overnight rate was? I don't expect you to know this.
I don't know this.
Don't worry. I didn't know it either. It was 0.5%.
Oh, really?
Do you know what it is today? I kind of expect you to know this.
3.75.
There you go.
Yeah.
Took the words right off my tongue. So very different economy we're in with different rates, and still employment is incredibly bad.
Right.
Not pretty looking. So I don't know. I think we're in store for a 0.5, and I think they even have a meeting in January.
Do they? I actually don't know.
I got to double check that, but let's just hold our horses and get through December.
December's first.
Yeah. But I think a 0.5 would be prudent. Given
and 100%. And this is like, I mean, keep in mind, we're talking about jobs report. We're talking about what numbers are generally looking like, but like, there's also, when you think about the entire world, you have stuff like Donald Trump's having conversations about raising tariffs in Canada, and our dollar and the US dollar can't get too far apart from each other.
That's another very big part of the story that's, has to be spoken about when you're talking about rates. Is like, yeah, we might get the 0.5 cut, but what's that going to do to our dollar?
Right.
How much is it going to cost me to go to Buffalo to watch a football game?
Yeah, most importantly.
Mr. Brightside will not be able to go attend games at these prices if these dollars continue to be so separate. But jokes aside, it's going to affect everyday business. I mean, he's even joking about making Canada the 51st state.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
There's, but we'll see what happens with Ukraine war and prices and global markets.
There's so many pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
So to just make a claim to fame,
all in one indicator.
Yeah, it's
a dangerous game to play.
Very, very much so.
Yeah. And we're nowhere near educated enough to absorb it all in and try to,
relay it.
Yeah. And I don't even know if AI is smart enough to take it all in.
Maybe we should toy with that answer.
I don't know. I had a rough week with AI this week.
Yeah, I did see that conversation.
I caught a certain design member who we often speak about on this show, who will remain nameless, at the Christmas party, head bobbing to Taylor Swift. And I recorded this gentleman in video, and I jokingly tried to create a ransom note on AI, and AI told me this goes against our terms and services. So I said, AI, what do I got to do to make it compliant with your terms and services? And they completely changed my ransom letter. It ended up being burn book from Mean Girls.
Yes.
Like, why don't we try doing a burn book instead of a ransom letter? I'm like, yeah, great idea, AI. Let's do that. Comes back. Unfortunately, this also does not meet our terms of services. In the end, it was the most polite message, and there was no way I was getting my point across, and I just abandoned the whole process. So
it was quite the read, I will say.
Yes.
And I also loved it when it would say, "Why don't we try this?" and then I'll do it, and then it would do a version of it. Then it would say, "Actually, sorry, I can't."
Sorry, yeah. So AI, not so good for ransom letters.
Yes.
Joking ransom letters.
yes, of course.
And I'm like, can we create a joke ransom letter, AI? And it's like, even though you're joking, it can still be deemed
misconstrued,
illegal. So no. So there's lots of data out there for markets to try to absorb, and no one's a perfect. You can't take it all in. Just do your best.
Yeah.
Do your best. That's the feel good message of the episode.
Just do your best.
That's
the conclusion of this.
Try not to get sick and do your best out there.
Love it.
Yeah. Next week will be our final episode of the year.
Yes.
We're going to take a Christmas break and come back fresh in the new year.
Love it.
So Murray 7583 Keith over there, you might not want to tune into next week because it's just going to be an episode of fun. Any shout outs?
Shout out the Sagers.
Yep.
Shout out all the Sagers and the Sages.
Yes. Well put.
There's a distinct difference there.
Yes. Shout out the ownership and shout out the team.
Yes.
Yes. I second that. It was a great party. Always a good time with the crew. And it's a great brokerage. A lot of good people there.
Love it.
I want to shout out to Fatzas for their sandwich recommendations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will mark my words. I will be going there.
Yes.
Specifically to give that a shot.
Both of
the actually the handful of places they've been sending me lately.
Yeah. Shout out Taksha Barbecue House.
Yes.
Shout out Adam and Kinda. They had a very big year. They're going to have an even bigger year next year.
Yep.
They know why. And shout out Lisbon Hotel.
Love it.
Yeah, if you're in the Lower East End and you want to have a great drink and really affordable prices with some good apps, pop in there.
Yeah.
You will not be disappointed.
Delicious choices.
Yeah. All right. Episode 75.
Episode 75.
Wrap it up. Enjoy.
Thanks for listening to the Toronto Living's Real Estate Podcast. You could find more information on how we work over at torontolivings.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter to get price reports from over 150 different neighborhoods in the city each and every month.
If you got any value, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you made it this far, thanks for listening.